Friends, today we will discuss the second part of the chapter Federalism. In this, we will study about what makes India a federal country and how federalism is practiced in our country, India. The first thing, here you can see that there are three tiers of the government, that is the central government, state government, and the local self government. India emerged as an independent nation after a painful partition. The constitution declared India as a union of states. Indian Union is based on the principles of federalism. The constitution originally provided for a two-tier system of government, that is the union government or central government and the state government. But now panchayat government is also being introduced over there. India is a federal country. The constitution clearly provided a threefold distribution of legislative power between the union government and the state government. There are three lists: union list, state list, and the concurrent list. First, we discuss about the list system. In that, the union list, it has subjects of national importance. The union government alone can make laws on it. For example, defense, banking, currency, etc. Then comes the state list. It has subjects of local and state importance. The state government alone can make laws on it. For example, police, trade, commerce, etc. Then the concurrent list. It has subjects of common interest both to the central and the state. Both the center and the state can frame laws on it. For example, education, forests, trade, etc. We also discuss about a fourth list that is called as the residuary list. The subjects which do not fall in any of the lists are included in it. The union government makes law on these subjects. For example, the computer software. Special status states are there in our country, India. All states in Indian Union do not have identical powers. Some of them enjoy a special status like Assam, Nagaland, Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh under the certain provisions of the Constitution of India or Article 371 due to their peculiar social and historical circumstances. Some special powers or privileges given are: first point, protection of land rights of indigenous people. Second, protection of their culture. Third, preferential employment in government services. Now comes the union territories. There are some parts of the Indian Union which enjoy very little power. These are areas which are too small to become an independent state, but which could not be merged with any of the existing states also. Example, Chandigarh, Lakshadweep, Delhi, etc. These union territories don't have the powers of a state. The central government has special powers in running these areas. To take a decision by the central and the union government, the following procedure is being there. Sharing of power between the union government and the state government is basic to the structure of the constitution. It is not easy to make changes to their power sharing arrangement. Any change to it has to be passed by both the houses of the parliament with at least two-thirds majority. Then it has to be ratified or verified by the legislatures of at least half of the total states. Then comes the linguistic states. The creation of the linguistic states was the first and a major test for the democratic politics in our country. New states were created to ensure that people who spoke the same language lived in the same states. But some states were created not on the basis of language, but to recognize differences based on culture, ethnicity, or geography. These include states like Nagaland, Uttarakhand, and Jharkhand. The demand for the formation of states on the basis of language was raised. Some national leaders feared that it would lead to the disintegration process of losing strength of the country. The formation of linguistic states has actually made the country more united. Then comes the language policy. The first point, our constitution doesn't give the status of national language to any one language. Hindi was identified as the official language. Besides Hindi, there are 21 other languages which are considered as the scheduled language of the constitution. Unlike Sri Lanka, the leaders of our country adopted a very cautious attitude in spreading the use of Hindi. According to the constitution, the use of English for official purpose was to stop in 1965. The non-Hindi speaking states demanded that the use of English would be continued. The central government agreed for the use of English along with Hindi for the official purpose. Then comes the center-state relationship. The constitutional arrangements for sharing power work in reality depend to a large extent on how the ruling parties and leaders follow the arrangements. For a long time, the state government did not exercise their rights as autonomous federal units. Ruling party at the state level was different. The parties that ruled at the center tried to undermine or erode the base, the power of the states. Central government could often misuse the constitution to dismiss the state government that was controlled by the rival parties. This undermined the spirit of federalism. So, the changes came up after 1990. Rise of the political parties in many states of the country could be witnessed. This was the beginning of the era of coalition government. Usually, partners in a coalition form of a political alliance had to adopt a common program at the center. No single party got a clear majority in the Lok Sabha. The major national parties had to enter into an alliance with many parties, including several regional parties, to form a government at the center. This trend was supported by a major judgment of the Supreme Court that made it difficult for the central government to dismiss state government in an arbitrary manner. Thus, federal power sharing is more effective today than it was in the early years after the Constitution came into force. With this, we come to the end of this segment.